gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you
seen the cops ride, I wonder how we're able to handle an 850-pound motorcycle with the ease of a child's toy. You came to the right place, because I'm going to tell you exactly how it's done. Here's the 3 simple techniques. These are techniques you will not pick up on your own. They're the opposite of your instincts. That's why I'm here. You don't have to be a motor officer to learn the techniques. I'm the only motor officer in the show. Right behind me is my wife, Donna. She's a nuclear physicist. Behind her, we got Marianne Hamilton. She's a flight attendant for American Airlines, and if you misbehave on her flight, she'll kick your ass right off that plane and think nothing of it. Behind her, we got Tim Hamilton. Tim's a gynecologist, says business is looking up. And bringing up the rear, we got Ken Hato. He's a lifeguard at a car wash. So you don't have to be a motor officer to learn these techniques. Anybody can do it. It takes about 2 or 3 hours to master. After that, you just get better and better. I show you a step-by-step approach on my video, so you know exactly how it's done. Should know that a good rider should be able to bring that bike to a stop without putting their feet down, whip it around in one smooth motion. The whole reason police agencies use motorcycles is because of their maneuverability. But if you can't maneuver the bike the way you see me doing here, boy, when that car turns left in front of you, you are in deep trouble. Everybody knows somebody who says a car pulled out in front of me, so I had to lay her down. And they're proud when they say that, laid her right down. What they really mean is I had no idea how to get out of the way, so I slammed on the rear brake and slid on my ass, crashing to avoid a crash. That's the last thing you want to do. Bike stops much better, maneuvers much better up on 2 wheels than it does sliding on the ground. 3 techniques, that's all there is to it. I'm going to stop and talk to you, tell you what this is all about. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jerry Palladino. I'm a motor officer instructor. If you're not in show business, get off the stage. I'm kidding. And I want you to know I wasn't born with these skills. Somebody had to tell me how it works. In my case, it was the Florida Highway Patrol, the troopers, the guys that never give you a break. Trooper stops you, you are getting a ticket. But a lot of people don't know why that is. It's because troopers work on a commission basis. They get to keep half the money from those tickets. That's right, those guys are knocking down $200,000–300,000 a year. So the next time a trooper stops you, as he's writing that ticket, you want to say, the only reason you're giving that ticket is because you're on commission, because they love when you say that. Oh, they'll start laughing, they'll say, never mind, you could go, because, you know, the jig is up. I was the only deputy in the class with 15 state troopers. The first day they had us standing at attention. And you know, deputies normally don't do that, but I got in there with them standing at attention. This guy pulls up on a brand new police bike, and he held up the keys. He said, anybody here know how to ride a motorcycle? And I looked up and down the line. Nobody raised their hand, so I put my hand up. As soon as I did, I knew I'd made a horrible mistake. I knew that because the trooper next to me whispered, you just made a horrible mistake. This guy jumped in my face. He screamed at me. He said, you don't know nothing about riding a motorcycle, but you're going to know if you make it through this course. I quickly found out the 20 years of experience I thought I had was actually 1 year's experience, repeated 20 times. I was making the same mistakes over and over again. When I finished that course, I knew how to ride this motorcycle. And I said, everybody should know the police motor officer techniques. That's why I came out with a Ride Like a Pro video. It's a step-by-step approach to these techniques. You can pick it up in about 2 or 3 hours. After that, you just get better and better. And we're going to talk today, by the way, about low-speed handling, because that's where everybody seems to have a problem. Nobody has a problem balancing the bike at 60 miles an hour. In fact, if you do, put your hand up right now. The guy back there with the beer. No, I mean when you're sober. But at low speeds, gravity wants to pull you to the ground. So I'm going to tell you these 3 techniques and how to defy gravity. First technique is the proper use of the friction zone. That's the area of clutch travel between completely open and completely closed. At low speeds, you want to stay in that gray area. Progress will be so much smoother and easier. Second technique is the proper use of the rear brake. If I put a little bit of pressure on the rear brake and put power to the rear wheel with the clutch and throttle, the bike cannot fall over. And here's the third but most important technique, because you use this at all speeds, the proper use of your head and eyes. Wherever I turn my head and eyes, that's where this bike is going to go. If I want to go up to the other end of the parking lot, I turn my head and eyes and around comes the motorcycle. As you can see, nothing to it. The easiest way to figure this out is to start with what's commonly called the slow race. That's going to show you how to use that friction zone. You want to have somebody stand 100 feet or so in front of the motorcycle. That's my wife Donna. She's standing up there because I'm going to focus on her face as I ride towards her. By the way, we just had our 30th wedding anniversary. I said, what do you want to do for anniversary? She said, I want to go someplace I've never been before. So I took her to the kitchen. But the reason she's standing there is I'm going to focus on her face as I ride towards her. That'll keep my head and eyes up, because my brain says if the bike gets a little unsteady, to look down. Don't do it. Keep your head and eyes up. Should be at about a walking pace. You could even have that person walk alongside the bike to make sure that you're at the proper training speed. Right here's perfect. I admit some days I get her up to 10 or 12 miles an hour, but that's just to keep her in shape, and it's working. In about 20 minutes, the average rider figures out how much easier it is to control the bike simply by staying in that friction zone. So much easier, so much smoother. Once you let the clutch out all the way, the slightest movement of the throttle causes the bike to leap straight ahead, and that's not what you want at those speeds. Next thing you got to do is get over your fear of leaning the bike, because the bike turns by leaning. The further I lean this motorcycle, the tighter the turn I can make. The easiest way to do that is have somebody stand in the center of a big parking lot. You could even use a pole in the parking lot. Focus on that pole or that person standing there and start circling around, leaning the bike just a little bit, big circles. Little by little, you want to tighten it up. And I know if you're going to do this with an old riding buddy of yours, you don't want to be looking at his face. He might look like that guy. Just tell him to wear a full face helmet. It's almost for safety's sake, and he might believe you. But if your assistant's as lovely as mine, you don't mind looking at her face. You just start with big circles, leaning the bike just a little bit, in the friction zone, a little pressure on the rear brake. Each time you go around, you want to lean a little further, till eventually you get to where you can put the pegs and the floorboards right on the ground. And when you hear that scraping sound, it just says you reached the limit of the lean angle, don't go any further. But it's important to know those lean limits and define them at controlled conditions like we have here in the big parking lot. The last thing you want to do is find out how far you can lean the bike around a 60-mile-an-hour turn. The most common motorcycle crash that involves just the rider is called failure to negotiate a curve. Rider gets into the turn, thinks he's leaning too far, he straightens up and runs right off the curb. Even here in Florida, where we got 3 curves in the whole freaking state, people are running off those 3 curves. Cut that out. Turn your head and eyes, look where you want to go, lean that motorcycle. Now, once you're not afraid to lean anymore, you're ready for the elusive U-turn on a side street. Oh, I know so many people have a problem with that U-turn. In fact, let me see a show of hands. How many people here are willing to admit they got a problem making a U-turn? Put your hand up. We got a couple of sisters here. I mean, no. But the people who did not put their hand up, you might be misunderstanding me, but when I say having a problem making a U-turn, if your U-turns look like this is a problem. If every time your bike drops below 20 miles an hour, you suddenly turn into a little girl who just took the training wheels off a first two-wheeler, this is embarrassing. Don't do this. This ain't helping you. Or the guys with the custom bikes, they got their feet sticking straight out like this every place they go. They're telling the whole world they have no clue how to ride the bike they paid so much money for. Spend 50 grand on a bike you can't ride? That's crazy. I call these people members of the Foot Draggers Riding Club because it's a big club. You could be a member of the Foot Draggers Club and not know it, but if you wear your shoes out before your tires, you're a foot dragger. Get them off. Get those feet up. It's crazy. Now, if you notice, there's 2 white lines we got here in the parking lot. One right over here, one over there. They're 24 feet apart. That's your average side street where you might want to make a U-turn. And I'm going to be the untrained rider. You'll probably recognize a friend of yours in this demonstration. Nobody here, I'm sure. But here I am cruising down the road. I'm on a dinner run. I got the wife on the back, cruising along. Nice day, just like today. Cool as could be. I even go by the shopping center where I can see myself as I ride by. Y'all do it. Come on, some of you go around 2 or 3 times looking at yourself like, hey, that's me, honey. Look, I look like a biker, don't I? I got a do-rag and a black vest. Even got a chain on my wallet. I don't know what the hell it's for, but my buddy got a chain, so I got a bigger one. I'm a real biker. Now she looks at herself, and women are more critical. She says, honey, do these chaps make my ass look big? And he says, no, you look fine. She says, you know, I'm big boned. Maybe I shouldn't have got chaps. No, you look good. They're cruising along. She says, you know, if you were looking at yourself back there, we missed the turn. We're going to be late for dinner. Make a U-turn and go back. Now, he's afraid to make this U-turn. He doesn't want to get anywhere near this curve. So he starts the turn about 5 feet away from the curve. He's just lost 5 feet of the space. Next thing he does, he doesn't want to hit that curve. So he looks at it. He stares at the thing he doesn't want to hit. I tell you, the bike goes wherever you look. The more he stares at it, the closer he gets to it. And he gets here and he realizes he can't make it. Now he's got to back up an 850-pound motorcycle with Big Mouth on the back, and that ain't easy. And he's struggling. And he's getting out of breath. He says, honey, you putting on some weight? She says, you think I'm fat? I'm not fat. I just got big bones. He said, it ain't your big bones. I think it's your big ass. Now get the hell off the bike. And now we got a full-blown domestic situation when good rides turn bad. She's never getting back on that bike. But I'm going to show you how to do this the easy way so you can avoid that situation. First thing I'm going to do is get my front tire close to the right side. As soon as it gets there, I turn my head down and I look behind me because that's where I want to go. And as you can see, I got all kinds of room. The bike turns in less than 18 feet, 24 feet. You can turn a freaking Greyhound bus in 24 feet. If the street is only 24 wide, I lean a little bit further. And the bike turns even tighter. But I know what you're thinking. I've been doing this for a while. I got to where I can practically read people's minds. Let me find somebody here whose mind I can read. See this guy over here, you know what he's thinking? He's thinking, I would love to see this guy fall on his ass just once. Oh, a couple of you thinking that, all right. But there's another guy back here saying, wait a minute, I ride with my wife on the back of the bike all the time. And when I try to make a U-turn, she's back there. It ain't that easy. I feel like I'm docking the freaking Queen Mary. I need a tugboat to help me out, so let me see you do this with 2 people on the motorcycle. All right, this is for the skeptics. My wife's not afraid to get on this. Keep in mind, ladies, if you're going to get on a bike with a guy who's duck walking and dragging his feet, the handlebars are shaking, he's a doofus. Don't get on a bike with a doofus. But nothing changes with 2 people. I put my front tire close to the right side here. I turn my head 9s and around comes the bike, one smooth motion. Now, there was a little scraping because my lean angle is slightly limited. When I first started doing this, she was a slim trim, 125 pounds. Now she's ballooned up to 128, so, you know, I got to make up for that. Nothing to it. But I'm sure there's some wise guy out there right now saying, well, what happens if maybe your wife kind of is big boned? What do you do if she weighs more than you? Well, we're going to show you that doesn't mean a thing. Come on out here. Tim, what are you doing? I wanted you on the back of the bike. You see, because you're 200 pounds, she's 105 pounds. Switch places quickly. You'd like to see the guy on the back of the bike for a change, wouldn't you? I can't hear you. Of course you would. This is embarrassing. Quickly now. Put her in neutral. That's it, you gotta hold on for safety's sake. It's a safety-oriented show. Find something to hold on to. There you go. See, you guys never thought about that. All of a sudden, it don't look so bad on the back of the motorcycle. That's why I'm here. I got tips like this you won't get anyplace else. Nothing changes. She weighs half of what he does, but the weight is on the tires. She doesn't care. It's technique, head and eyes. Rich is on a little bit of pressure on the rear brake. All right, get him off there. He's having too much fun. Come on out here, Donna. 2 tiny women. 2 heavyweight motorcycles, 800, 900-pound bikes, handling it with the ease of a child's toy. There's guys out there right now saying, what do these girls know that I don't know? What they know is technique. If you're using your instincts are wrong. Think of your brain as a politician. Whatever it tells you sounds good, it just doesn't work. Technique works every time. The smallest rider on the heaviest bike, you ain't carrying it, you ain't pushing it. The weight means nothing. Now let's keep it nice and tight, really tight. I've seen a lot of group rides in my time, most of which look more like a Chinese fire drill than anything you're seeing here. But that ain't the way it should be, folks. Everybody who rides should know these techniques. We have the Ride Like a Pro video on sale here for 20 bucks. In fact, we have a special now. You can get the Ride Like a Pro video and my book, the Ride Like a Pro book, $34.95, saving yourself $5. We also have now on USB 2 of our videos, Ride Like a Pro and Surviving the Mean Streets, just $39.95. You'll plug that right into your phone when you go to practice. If you think riding a motorcycle is fun now, imagine if you actually knew what the hell you were doing. I guarantee it's more fun. As I look, folks, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. All right. This is what it looks like when you actually know how to handle a motorcycle, and everybody needs to know these techniques. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. If you missed any part of it, we're going to do it all over again 1 hour from now. And this is your chance to get my video, the book, like I said, the Ride Like a Pro book, and the video, $34.95. Thank you so much. Come on up here and get in. In fact, the first 5 customers make a